This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the G Podcast. And we are, 16 days, 17 hours as we tape the podcast until Inauguration Day. And I'm going to tell y'all that I am impatient as hell. But I'm not going to get into it yet and tell you why. But first, I got to just say Happy New Year to, I see Vi on camera. Hey, Vi, how you doing, man?
Doing great, brother.
Tonya B is in the building. Tonya B, Happy New Year.
Happy 2021. 21 is the number. I'm telling you, there's something about the number 21.
Okay. I'm going to say this. Before I really get into the show, I want to play something. And I typically don't jump into this soon. But today's been an interesting day as we tape the podcast. You know, we tape every Sunday. And this week, Orange Julius, Cheeto Jesus, whatever you want to call him, is doing something interesting today. And I want to play it. I'm only going to play 4 minutes because he called Brad Raffensperger, who is the Secretary of State, and Brian Germany, who is actually the General Counsel for the Secretary of State's office. And this thing, the call was like an hour long. It hit the news, and it's all over the news right now as we tape the show. So I'm going to play 4 minutes, just about 4 minutes of it, okay? And if it gets too sickening, raise your hands. But but I got to do it. And this is a story that broke with the Washington Post, NBC News. So I'm going to jump into this, and we'll come back and talk about it on the other side. Here we go.
We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. Having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry. And these numbers are going to be repeated on Monday night, along with others that we're going to have by that time, which are much more substantial even. And the people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
Now, do you think it's possible that they shredded ballots in Fulton County? Because that's what the rumor is. And also that Dominion took out machines. That Dominion is really moving fast to get rid of their machinery. Do you know anything about that? Because that's illegal.
This is Ryan, Germany. No, Dominion has not moved any machinery out of Fulton County. We're having.
But have they moved? Have they moved the inner parts of the machines and replaced them with other parts?
No.
You sure, Ryan?
I'm sure.
You should want to have an accurate election, and you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
Okay, Val raised his hand. Okay, the music, I added the music because let me tell you, that is some Godfather-ish, some Goodfellas, some Scorsese. I just call him Orange Corleone because, If I help me out, man. I mean, you just got to laugh at you really do. I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people have anxiety attacks because of what's going on this week in Georgia. And I'll get into some stuff after as we get into the news, talk about the polling and things like that. Okay. What's that?
That conversation alone should let you know he's wrong.
Yeah.
He's telling this guy to lie.
Yes.
It's okay to say you recalculated.
And my point is, Tonya B, you there? I know you're moving around, Tonya B, but I gotta say,
No, there's one word for this.
What you got to say?
Bull. He's just a bully.
Yeah.
And he's trying to bully these people into breaking the law, and then he will throw them under the bus. Mm-hmm. And they're not going for it.
It's amazing to me, and I live in District 10, Georgia. Okay, I gave y'all too much info. Don't come looking for me. But my point is the guy Jody Heiss is our congressional representative. He's leading this whole "we gonna overturn the vote on January 6th" He's one of the leaders. And it's just amazing to me that, and of course, the only thing that he has going on his side basically is that the congressional district is about 70% white. So he can play that kind of game and get into these little theatrics, because all that was theatrics. And I'm glad, hopefully, I think probably Raffensperger probably gave the tape to the Washington Post and NBC News and just said, look at this shit. Look what I got to deal with.
No choice.
Brian,
didn't Trump tweet that Raffles didn't answer the question, didn't know what he was doing?
Yeah. It's amazing to me that, we stoop to this level. And I just want to say this up front to everybody who listens to the podcast. There's no way in hell that dude is going to be inaugurated on January 20th. It's a done deal. Okay. But, again, I go back to my point that all this is basically being done, so he can have his whatever afterlife with this, whatever thing he plans on doing. If it's a network or whatever, I think this is all just fodder that he's throwing in for people who are fundraising. It's just theatrics for video. Whatever they're trying to put together, he's the master of using video, and this drama to drum up support. So, we'll see. But welcome to the G Podcast, y'all. Just another week, and we in Georgia. So we got to watch every other minute a political ad that comes up. And I'm just, I'll just be glad when the political ads are done. And I'll be glad when I can go to my mailbox and a damn sea of direct mail pieces don't fall out into the street. That's what I'll be happy about. So when this is all done, I'll be happy. So each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea from Tonya B, which I know we're going to get into that a little bit later on. We're on Amazon Music, so you can use your Echo Smart device. And, it's the beginning of the year, so no, you can go ahead and drum it up, get ready. And all you have to do is say, Alexa, play This Is the G Podcast. You have to say the whole thing, This Is the G Podcast. And now you can also check us out. We've got a YouTube channel. So if you want to check the audio out on YouTube, the link is on our social media. The link for YouTube is there as well. So got to say hello to the illustrious host, who I've already kind of recognized. But if you're new to the podcast, let me make sure I do this right. Our digital entertainment guru, serving that piping hot tea, the one and only, y'all give it up for Tonya B. And we call him the country commentator, the pride of Forsyth, Georgia. Where you? Southwest, right? From us, man. Don't laugh.
I am middle Georgia.
Yeah, he's like in the middle, but the middle west. So y'all give it up for Vian, who's in the building, y'all. David Banner. Y'all have to see him on camera, too. He does look like David Banner. And Syracuse Mike is on vacation this week, but we've got somebody to fill in for him. Here's my thing, and we'll get into news in just a minute. Vi, at the end of the podcast, we're going to talk about a sports piece that came up. And what's the guy, the Washington football team quarterback?
Yeah, you know the quarterback, yeah.
That got cut.
Yeah.
We got a couple of we got some feedback. And I want to play the calls that came in regarding that whole. Well, I don't know if it's a controversy or not with Booger McFarland, Booger Mac.
It is controversial.
It is controversial what he said. So, so definitely, we're going to do that later on in the show. But just want to let y'all know, and you could call us on the feedback line 413-556-9546 at any time and leave your feedback. I appreciate the folks who called us over the holidays. And, let's do this. We're going to get into, because I know we couldn't stand the whole 4 minutes of Trump. So let's go ahead and get into this week's news. All right, here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Big Brothers Big Sisters of America and the state of California have significant similarities. Both the tapping people of color for high-ranking positions we have never held before with either of them. Artis Stevens is the new Black CEO for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and if confirmed, Assemblywoman Shirley Weber will become California's first Black Secretary of State.
The COVID-19 pandemic is taking its toll on America, and that includes the drug problem. New data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention revealed that over 85,000 drug overdose deaths occurred in the U.S. That's the highest number ever recorded by the CDC. 5 days after being wrongfully detained by a maskless police officer, a Black Virginia man has tested positive for COVID-19. President-elect Joe Biden has picked Kathleen Hicks, a former Pentagon official under President Obama, to serve as Deputy Secretary of Defense. And Jeanette Young, the Black social worker in Chicago who was handcuffed naked in a botched raid, was scheduled to meet with Mayor Lori Lightfoot to discuss transparency, accountability, and social justice. The mayor has publicly apologized to Young over the Chicago Police Department's actions, but the mayor faced scrutiny over the revelation that she had prior knowledge of the raid after she initially stated she was unaware that it took place.
Following days of hesitation, President Donald Trump finally signed off on the COVID relief and government funding bill on Sunday, but not in enough time to prevent a lapse in unemployment benefits for millions of Americans.
A statue depicting a freed slave kneeling at the feet of President Abraham Lincoln has been removed in Boston's Park Square. State health officials in Colorado announced the first known case of a new variant of COVID-19 at a nursing home in Simla, Colorado. A federal judge in Georgia ordered 2 counties to reverse a decision removing more than 4,000 voters from the rolls ahead of the January 5th runoff election that will decide control of the U.S. Senate.
Hey, just a couple of things, y'all. I want to say thanks to Alexander Caden and Brooklyn for providing news this week. Again, Syracuse Mike is on vacation. But just a couple of things, y'all. Everybody's looking at Georgia right now. Georgia is, Georgia's on my mind, is national. And everybody wants to know what Georgia will do. Election night is Tuesday here in the state where we are. I'm near Atlanta, just south of Atlanta. Tonya B is in the heart of the ATL. And Vi, you're more southwest, but just about within an hour of Atlanta. I voted, and I know I went on to my voter page, the link, and confirmed that that my absentee ballot was approved and everything is good. If you guys aren't sure how to do that, I'll have a link to my voter page if you want to check before the election if you're in Georgia. And the interesting thing right now is we're talking about 3 million people voted in the runoff. And I just got to give it up. That's just damn. It was a record runoff. Over 112,000 Georgians who did not vote in the general election have already voted in the runoff. And wow. 22% are under the age of 25. 22%. And
the young people
yep.
decide this election.
I hope so. And that's 12% of registered voters in the state. So got to give my hats off. To my folks 25, under the age of 25 for coming out. A lot of first-time voters as well. And there is a poll out. I know a lot of folks after, these last few elections aren't really putting much stock in polls. But I will say the Atlantis Intel poll came out for the month of December. And Osloff is up 51.1% to Purdue's 47%. That's according to this one poll. And with the Warnock-Loeffler race, it looks like Warnock's up 51.1% and Loeffler's up 46.9%. Just to talk about their pacing, Loeffler is up like 4.2% and Osloff is up. So they're going up. Purdue is pacing down. Warnock is pacing slightly down to Loeffler. So I don't put much stock haven't put much stock in these polls, but it looks like it's going to be an interesting night. What do y'all think? Tonya B, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's definitely going to be close. And watching some of the news shows this morning, and particularly Meet the Press, one of the those people, I guess I call them the prognosticators, because they have as much validity to me as somebody who does the weather. But I said it's looking like the Democrats are in place to sweep this. I won't say sweep it. I say to secure those seats, but it's going to be very close. So don't be surprised if we see the runoff of the runoff of the runoff.
Ain't gonna be no another runoff.
It's gonna be close.
It's gonna be close.
It will be close. It will be close. So.
And it will be in court.
Again.
It will be in court. It's gonna be close. Because I am proud of our people, because I really didn't think we were gonna come out and vote this time.
Well, I got to give it up. Big time.
Because when the president...
What's that again, Bob? I'm sorry.
I am glad to be wrong.
Yeah. Well, good. And the other thing is, number 2, what will Cheeto Jesus kooks do? The folks who are making all this noise about, we have the vote in Georgia on January 5th. Then on January 6th, we had the electoral count, which Congress is involved in. And, it's a joint session overseen by Vice President Pence. And according to this, there will be objections, but of course not enough to overturn the election. So, let them object all they want, but they don't legitimately have the votes. And Pence has already said, like, leave me out of this shit. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I mean, he told
he said, I'm just a glorified envelope opener.
Yep, that's it. And
with a fly in my head, yes.
And the judge has already thrown out the GOP's attempt to use Pence to overrule.
Pence asked him to throw it out. He throw that out.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. And of course, as you heard, Cheeto Jesus is out there keeping his attacks going against lawmakers who won't do his bidding. And again, I mean, I still say that this is about fundraising and just, setting up Trump for the next steps, for publicity and fundraising. So I would, don't be all anxious. It's I do think that the call we played, there's some illegal stuff going on in terms of some of the things. I haven't heard the full hour, but I will say that, I hope the Biden team doesn't forgive what he's doing. I just really hope that they hold him accountable for these things. What's that?
He's not. Because Biden more concerned about the country hill than getting in Trump.
So you don't think, I think he should be concerned, but on the other hand, if they don't do something to hold these people accountable now, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep pushing him the same way they pushed Obama, yelling in the State of the Union. It's just going to be ugly. It's just going to be an ugly first few years. And if he doesn't make some examples out of some of these folks, I don't think they're going to stop. I mean, I think it's going to get worse.
I don't think Congress is going to treat Biden.
Hang on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Vi. Then I'll get to you.
I don't think the Congress is going to treat Biden like they did Obama because Biden's white. Most of them like Biden. They just like Biden. They just want Trump to win, but they like Biden.
They can't say.
Okay, they like Obama because he was black. That's all that was.
Want to go to you, Tonya B. Go ahead.
That's true. The pigmentation situation, you have to, you can never discount that. And my other, outlook is these folks, like I said, they don't care. They're going to keep pulling for straws, and they're really grasping now because now they've crossed that line where, forget about unethical, and it not being credible. Now it's become illegal, and they still don't care. Because I really, in their minds, they believe they are right and that there will be no repercussions. So even if you just take one or two people, make an example out of somebody.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's always going to be like this for the next 8 years.
Yeah, because they think about their political career. Like Ted Cruz. Not Ted Cruz, all of a sudden he's a Trump fan now.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Over 20 million COVID cases, almost 348,000 deaths. And
remember that.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's false. Trump said that's false now. That's over exaggerated.
That's the problem. That's the problem. And y'all know I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but that's the problem. The denial. Even Fauci had to come out and say, look, the numbers don't lie. The deaths, these are real people. So, it's just, we have to hold this guy accountable. That's all I have to say. I just don't, I don't think we need to look the other way, turn the other cheek, or however they say it. They got to hold him accountable. The other thing is, more of the police shooting madness going on. We've got the first Minneapolis police shooting since George Floyd, 23-year-old, and I hope I say his name right, Dolo Id. He was in a car. They said he basically was pulling away, running from the police after they told him to stop. And the body cam says it all, but I think there's some dispute whether or not he fired the first shot. That's what the police are saying. The police are basically saying that he fired at them first and they returned fire. So, they're still reviewing the body cam. The family, disputes that. This other thing in Columbus, Ohio, which Columbus is off what the hell's going? This is like the second black police shooting of an unarmed black man in Columbus. What the hell's going on in Columbus, Ohio? I mean, Andre Hill. Go ahead.
Ohio, period. Think about it. It seems to be widespread. Yeah. Like I said, Columbus, yes, but it's widespread across Ohio.
Yeah. Well, you had this guy says basically the family of Andre Hill is saying he was just dropping off Christmas money. But the real disturbing thing about this is they left him dying and didn't administer aid while he was handcuffed, which is amazing. And it's all on video. Again, an unarmed, he only had a cell phone, black man, handcuffed. They left him on the pavement, just dying until he died.
And if Breonna Taylor to die, had she gotten medical attention within, I think they said 20 or 25 minutes of being shot, she could have lived.
Yeah.
And one more thing, while you're talking about these shootings, this is the anniversary week of the young man in the Bay Area at Fruitvale Station that got murdered.
Wow. Man. And also Tamir Rice. It's amazing. 12-year-old Tamir Rice was gunned down in 2014 by an officer on video, where he just pulled up. He was playing with a toy gun in a park.
Right.
And they've already, the Justice Department has basically come out and said there will be no charges. No, the police will not be charged in that situation. And Louisville is a lot of stuff's coming out. Daniel Cameron, his ass is in the fire, and I just hope they keep pushing the fact that he lied about everything that went on with the grand jury and everything behind the scenes. Grand jury knew nothing about a lot of the things he did out front. So I think a lot of that's going to come out under a new DA, under a new administration. I think his cover is going to be blown. So it's going to be interesting. And last but not least, I don't know if y'all read the story about Pelosi and McConnell and their homes being vandalized.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Nancy had better appliances.
She did what now?
Nancy had better appliances than Mitch McConnell.
What? Nancy had a $24,000 fridge.
It's two refrigerators combined to be $24,000.
Damn.
Those are the commercial grade, or those that you see in the homes of the stars and those people on Top Chef and whatnot. And I just think she probably has.
Hell, she worth millions. Okay.
Therein lies the problem.
You show me the receipt where she paid full price for anything in that house. Mitch McConnell either, but no. Nancy,
she worth millions.
Right. She has a cook's kitchen, so leave Nancy alone.
Let me say this, y'all. Let me ask y'all. What do you think? I mean, Loeffler is the highest paid congressperson, period. I mean, she's worth her, I think somebody said 500. Some folks are saying 800 million, her combined wealth with her husband. Okay. I just really don't see how someone who makes that much money can have empathy for their constituents when, And that's,
they don't understand.
They don't understand. They have no understanding. And I think the further away they get from their constituents on that level, I think that's where we're having a lot of the problems. I'm a big fan of term limits. I just don't think you should keep. I don't think. I mean, when you look at Mitch McConnell, who's been in office 36 years,
too long,
and 36 years in Kentucky, and you're looking at 10 of the counties in Kentucky are among the poorest in the U.S. And he's been in. People voted for him,
but they voted for Mitch.
Yeah. It's just amazing.
They voted for Mitch. So I ain't got no sympathy for them. They voted for Mitch.
Okay. That's like saying if you go to a club and you get COVID, people don't come to me because I'm not trying to send to anybody. But if you go to a club and get COVID, you deserve what you get. So those people that have one tooth living in the trailer park with their mother, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, keep voting for him, and they will settle for living in squalor. Then you know what? As the young man says, sit in your mess. I have no sympathy.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
They tell me we don't need the money. I don't know how they keep saying we don't need the money.
Yeah. Well, you know what you're going to see.
Businesses. What do you mean say the businesses? Okay.
Yeah. You know what you're going to see.
Don't own no businesses.
Yeah.
If the business ain't work, if the business is not working, that means we ain't working.
Yeah.
Because the business ain't working, so we need money too.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man, and you know what we're going to see for the next 4 years. All of a sudden, the Republicans are going to turn into, conservative and their true conservative selves, and start talking about, deficit spending. They're going to be deficit hawks all of a sudden. So it's unfortunate. But when Trump was in office, the first thing they did was pass $1 trillion tax break for their buddies, for the rich. Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting. It's just going to be real interesting. I really, I do want to give it up one more time for my folks in Georgia. Because I swear, if they don't have Georgia, if we don't get those, if Biden doesn't get those 2 seats, it's just going to be crazy.
It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be really. How can you say it? I don't think it's gonna be as bad as Obama, but it's gonna be a challenge to get anything done. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. Hey, y'all, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Tonya B, you got that tea ready? You gonna come back and do some tea?
Can't you hear the kettle whistling? Mama is ready. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, y'all. Let's do something real quick. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll come back right after this. We'll be right back.
The Harold Michael Harvey Collection is a collection of books about civil rights in America, told through the eyes of people who envisioned it and fought for it in the days when hope unborn had died. Black History Month is coming in February, and now is the time to step up your reading game with books that go inside the issues. As the Negro National Anthem puts it, that with a steady beat has brought our weary feet to the place from which our fathers sighed. The Harold Michael Harvey Book Collection will prepare you for a meaningful discussion of Black history with an eye toward an uplifting Black future. The collection includes Justice in the Round, Freaknik Lawyer, The Duke of 18th and Vine, and My C.T. Vivian Story. Books are available at haroldmichaelharvey.com.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sippin' the tea with Tonya B.
Damn, Tonya B, did we already do tea? It just...
You got jokes today.
Everything we just did sounded like, damn, I mean, from the top with Orange Corleone and all the drama in Congress. I mean, it may as well have been the tea. But you got tea. You got real tea. Give us some tea, Tonya B. Help us out.
What I have is considered real entertainment. But first, we must start off on a solemn note. And we're going to start off with the prayer list, of course. And I'm just going to mention these folks real quickly. And unless you had your head in the sand, you would not know that legendary educator Joe Clark, the subject of the film Lean on Me, passed away. Also, Adolfo Shabadoo Quinones, who at the age of 65, I believe he actually had corona. He had the symptoms, said he was tested negatively. The next day he was gone. But for those of you who didn't know, he was a legendary actor, dancer, choreographer, gave the world pop locking, was part of the groundbreaking dance group, The Lockers. And he was also Lela Rashawn's first husband, for those of you who did not know that.
Say what now? Lela Rashawn?
He was Lela Rashawn's first husband. Yeah, they were married from 82 to 87.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Who knew? Also, those of you who are, I guess, are above, they are in the baby boomer age group and watched the show Gilligan's Island, Dawn Wells, who played Marianne, she did pass away with complications of COVID. Actor Louis Gossett Jr., who is like, he really is funny, like Samuel L. Jackson, but he was actually in a Georgia hospital getting treated for COVID-19, and he said he checked himself out of the hospital for fear of his life because it was becoming a shit show, and I guess he said he could do better somewhere else. And he also survived prostate cancer 10 years ago. At the age of 84, he could be quite vulnerable, so we wish him a speedy recovery.
Hey, you know what? Real quick on him. Have y'all seen on Showtime the Cuban? Have y'all checked that out?
I have not yet.
Check out The Cuban. If you have Hulu, you might be able to find it. But it is an excellent movie. It is an excellent movie. And he does, Louis Gossett Jr. just does a great job in that movie. If you have a chance, check it out. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to mention that.
One of our previous guests, legendary hip-hop artist Curtis Blow, I shared with you that he had a heart transplant. About 2 weeks ago, I heard from him. He said he's feeling better, and he's actually going home on Tuesday and just wants to thank all his fans really worldwide for their thoughts and prayers. It'll be about a year before he can get back to work, but we're just glad that he's still with us. Another rapper I'm not really familiar with, but I heard he was very popular. He was a rock British rapper. His name was MF Doom. He passed away.
Yeah. Heard some people talking about him. Yeah, a
lot of people talked about that. And comedian Mike Epps lost his mom, and musician Nile Rodgers lost his mother as well. And if you don't know who he is, you know his music. He wrote We Are Family for Sister Sledge. He wrote I'm Coming Out for Diana Ross, and everybody knows, Good Times, Love Freak, a.k.a. Freak Outs. He's, we've really been dancing to his music for a very long time.
Yep. And we're still dancing to it with Daft Punk.
Daft Punk, yeah, that won the Grammy for Get Lucky, and his music is always in some commercial somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's still doing collaborations. He's still out there.
Absolutely, yeah. So prayers up to them. And then also, again, maybe a baby boomer, but most of us who came up, and I know you all know the group Houdini, out of New York. Freaks Come Out at Night, One Love, 5 Minutes of Funk, Haunted House of Rock, all that stuff. Well, John Fletcher, a.k.a. Ecstasy of the group, he suddenly passed away right before Christmas. And, because of the COVID pandemic, acts like Houdini, who would normally be working, they weren't able to work. Ecstasy did not have insurance. Now his family has actually launched a GoFundMe page to cover his funeral expenses. They're trying to get $20,000. Ecstasy had 6 kids and 5 grandkids. And, I'm sure, some of these people that I know that he was close to, they've, kind of stepped in to fill the gap. And I just said, look, if every person that had a favorite Houdini song gave $1, it would be a no-brainer.
Yeah. We got to get that link. We need to get that link and put it on the page.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
And here's the thing. Back in summer of 2020, Swiss Beats and LL Cool J were talking about launching the Hip Hop Founders Fund for artists such, as Ecstasy, who, would need money for medical insurance, medical coverage, medical bills, and just everyday expenses. And even Ice Cube, and he should have taken the money that he got from Trump and put it in the pot. To help so that these types of things don't become the family having to go and do a GoFundMe.
Yeah, that's
very, very important. So
that is definitely needed with the hip hop community.
Everybody put up $1, it would be a no-brainer. And then for those of us who are in the Southeast, we're very familiar with the legendary Southern DJ Mustard, asking for prayers. He's in the hospital. He's got COVID. So, for all of you who think this isn't real, it's real. Even Larry King got COVID. Next up, I want to talk about some things. A lot of, and we witnessed this with Carl Banks, who was on the show recently. A lot of former athletes do a lot of things behind the scenes to benefit the community and just lift up people. And I want to say 5 on it to Master P and former NBA player Baron Davis. They're trying to buy Reebok from Adidas for $2.4 billion.
Good.
A lot of money. But, they can probably get it, though. And, imagine Reebok being Black owned. And, I hope that they do some great branding with a lot of athletes, because I understand prior to his sudden death that Kobe Bryant was actually trying to leave and sever his ties with Nike and launch his own Mamba sneaker brand.
Wow. Hey, does Reebok still have that kind of clout? Vi, you're fashion. You kind of got the fashion bug. Does Reebok still have some clout?
Dude, yeah. They're coming back, especially with their jogging suits.
Okay.
Right now, they're owned by Adidas.
Okay.
And also, we got to say 5 on it to former NBA player Junior Bridgman, I believe. Since he's done well, much like Carl Banks, since he left, the pro sports area. He owns a lot of fast food restaurants and other entities, but he is the one who rescued the legendary Ebony magazine from the abyss of extinction.
Wow.
And there was a company in Houston that bought the magazine, and they ended up, they just messed up the church's money. They were getting sued. They weren't paying their employees.
They messed up the church's money.
the classic example, right? So, and the thing is,
it wasn't, Tonya B, it wasn't messed up.
It's Sunday.
Okay, my bad. All right, go ahead.
There you go. But it'll be interesting to see how, Junior Bridgman, it looks like he has a team of forward-thinking people around him, because a lot of people don't read hard copy magazines like they used to. But then again, we didn't have the internet. But I do believe that Ebony is going to move into a strong digital presence. So that should be interesting.
Okay. Cool.
I'm almost at the end. I got 2 more things. One is, Taraji P. Henson has a Facebook show. It's called Peace of Mind with Taraji. And she interviews celebrities, she talks with experts, and she also talks with everyday people to help eliminate the stigma, especially now surrounding mental health issues. And she really, I got to give it to her, she was very transparent, and she recently revealed that since the pandemic has started, that she actually contemplated suicide.
What?
While she was in quarantine. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So you think everybody, she's rich, she's famous, she got it going on, she's this, she's that. You know what? All of that means nothing when your mental health is not stable. Look at Tamar Braxton. Well, she don't have any money,
but people got to work. I mean, and a lot of, you talk about a lot of these musicians, they didn't write these songs. You and I talked about this quite a bit. I mean, they're not being paid. The only way they can get paid is to perform, because they don't own the songs.
Exactly.
And they can't perform.
Nope, and they can't perform. They that's how they make their money. So.
Exactly, right? The performances and maybe selling merchandise and things along that line, hence the situation that we have here with Ecstasy from Houdini.
Damn.
But I think one person Taraji needs to have on her show,
who?
One of your least favorite people in the world, but she needs to get Tory Lanez to get him some professional help, because he actually recently purchased a billboard in Times Square in New York City, which I'm sure is dirt dang cheap, because there's nobody in Times Square right now. But on this billboard, he proclaimed himself to be the greatest artist in the world. And to that, I say Luther Vandross should smack you from one side. James Brown's going to smack you from the other side. Aretha Franklin's going to hit you with her purse.
Is that supposed to be the power of positive thinking? that's some Trump shit.
Come back with her broom with cleanup woman and just like, boys, sit down.
I never heard of him. So what he done?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I don't know you, you're in trouble.
It doesn't matter. Look, if he in his unstable mind thinks he is the greatest artist in the world, then that should tell you something.
Yeah.
And I got a bridge in Brooklyn, but I do want to close out by saying congratulations to the late great Betty Wright. Her song "Clean Up Woman," along with Salt and Pepper's "Push It," will enter the Grammy Hall of Fame this month. Also joining them, Grandmaster Flash and the 45. Hey.
Awesome, good stuff. That's good stuff. Glad you ended on a positive note. Yeah, I got some stuff for the TV side, because all I did over the holidays, just watch a bunch of TV and a bunch of movies. I don't know if y'all I'm just gonna ask. Okay, don't yell at. Don't look like I'm crazy. Are y'all watching Bridgerton on Netflix?
Oh.
Shondaland. Look at Vine. All right, okay, Vine, because I'm not really into the whole Harlequin kind of period piece.
Hey,
I mean,
dude,
Dalton Abbey.
I thought the same thing till when I had to watch it. I just couldn't stop. I said, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, I heard it's edgy.
I would have never picked that show.
Don't watch it with your mother. Don't watch it with your mother.
No. And your kid. No kids.
Watch it by
No kids.
So, you know what? I saw, because I follow, you remember Dicey, right? Spicy Dicey Grinner, who was on the show for the Halloween episode. So she had a post on Twitter, and she said she's been watching it, and her and her husband gonna do some role play. I'm like, what? So I said, what is this Bridgerton, everybody? Netflix. Hey, but this is Shonda's. This is Shondaland. So this is from Shonda Rhimes. This is her first thing on Netflix. So that's out. A lot of people talking about it. What?
You won't be disappointed.
I'm gonna check it out. I may check it out. Also, you will not
be disappointed. That's all I get. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, let me tell you something else I didn't expect, and I was blown away by it, and it probably was one of my favorite watches over the holiday. But Sylvie's Love, with Tessa Thompson and former NFL player Nnamdi Asomugha.
Just call him Kerry Washington's husband. That's easier to pronounce.
Nnamdi Asomugha, and he played the NFL for like 11 years.
Yes.
But he and Tessa Thompson, the chemistry in this movie was just amazing, y'all. I mean, the way it's shot. I just say for the new generation, this is like the new generation's Love Jones. I mean, it's just that good. Tessa, I think people are talking about her possibly being Best Actress for Best Actress consideration, either on the Golden Globe side or the Oscar side. It's just really, it's her best work, in my opinion. I've seen her in the Thor movies. Of course, I saw her. She was in Creed with, was it Michael B. Jordan?
Let me say this: there's going to be a Creed 3, and she's going to be returning in Creed 3, and Michael B. Jordan will be producing and starring in it.
And directing it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. If y'all have not seen Sylvie's Love, you need to check it out. It really, it is so well done. It is so well done. On the other hand,
to end, it's a good picture.
It is consistently. Yeah, I agree.
You don't want to move. You do not want to. I didn't even stop stop the remote to get up and do anything. And for me, I guess because to me it was kind of a chick flick as well. But I get what y'all are saying. But as a resident chick in the building, I said one thing. I said it made me believe in love again. I'm like, okay, you know what? It could happen. Yeah. This movie actually, to me, renewed my faith in, a real, I'm down for you like 4 flat tires love story.
Yeah.
And you don't see a lot of that these days. Not with people that look like us.
Yeah, the other thing, I was talking about it with the fam, and, this is what made, when Love Jones came out back in the 90s, or late 90s, mid 90s, well, it's more late 90s. One of the things that propelled Love Jones was it didn't use a lot of the typical black movie tropes where somebody got shot, you had a drug dealer get involved, put some, it really deals with the human condition that we deal with. And because it's the 50s and 60s, they didn't try to avoid the whole issue of racism, but it wasn't overbearing. It didn't, we got enough of that going on. It didn't add anxiety to the characters. They knew where they lived. They knew who they were. Yeah, and, it's just so well done. I could go on and on about it, but, it is definitely, at the top of my list is one of my favorites, for 2020. Yeah, it's a great movie. And kudos to Amazon. Amazon Studios, and I got a couple more movies going to talk about 2021 real quick. But I do want to say, if y'all watch Wonder Woman 84, what were your thoughts? Did anybody watch Wonder Woman 84 on
that would be no.
I watch it.
Say what, Vaughn?
I haven't watched it. Plan to watch it either tonight or tomorrow night.
Okay, you haven't watched it yet. Tonya B, have you watched it?
That would be no. And to be honest with you, I've heard about it, but I'm just not there yet. I would sit and binge watch Murder, She Wrote or Columbo really before I go, oh, I got to watch Wonder Woman. I heard there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I would watch the original one with Linda Carter, okay?
Well, she's in it, kind of. I will say that. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I will say it was so-so. It was okay. Yeah. Watched it on Christmas Day.
My son said, depending who you are. Yeah. My son said he didn't think it was good as the first one.
Yeah.
But depending who you are, he said, but some folks say it is good as the first one. So
yeah, I'm not one of them. I'm not a big fan of Gal Gadot. I think she's kind of deadpan. She's boring. I think she's overrated. So I'm not a huge fan of her. And even I've seen some of her films before. She started doing the whole DC thing. But we'll see how it goes on the next one. But it's 2.5 hours, man.
What? Is that long?
Yes. And you feel
tonight,
it.
Man.
No, you better get some sleep.
Tonight.
Watch it when you fully alert. That's all I got to say. You better be fully alert.
That's a Friday night movie then.
Yeah.
Or Saturday.
Be fully alert. Coffee, tea, 5-hour energy. Be ready. Okay. All right.
Red Bull.
When the 2 hours,
Red Bull.
2 hours, you got to be great. Like that last Avenger movie.
2.5. But I'll leave it at that. Hey, just a couple more things for 2021, y'all. And I want to thank The Root magazine for printing this. I'm not going to go through all of them, just a couple of mentions. March 5th, you got Coming to America 2, or Coming with the To America on Amazon Prime. That's coming out March 5th. Malcolm and Marie with John David Washington and Zendaya. That's coming out on February 5th. It's a love story on Netflix. February 5th. Space Jam with LeBron's coming out on HBO Max July 16th. The Judas and Black Messiah movie's coming out Feb 12th, and that's on HBO Max. They were going to do it later in the year, but it's been moved to February now, so it's going to be in Black History Month. I'm still not a big fan of the actor who's playing Fred Hampton. We'll see how he does. So we'll see. Lee Daniels, his movie, The United States versus Billie Holiday, and Audrey Day is going to be playing Billie Holiday. That's coming out on Hulu February 26th. Barry Jenkins has a new project that's coming out, The Underground Railroad. Again, that's going to be on Amazon Prime limited series, and they haven't really announced the date. You're going to like this, Tonya B. Hip Hop Uncovered. The docuseries is coming out on FX on February 12th, and it deals with the criminalization of hip hop and its mainstream fascination. That's supposed to be really good. And y'all ever watched the Batwoman series on CW? Have you watched it? Yeah, that's coming back. So season 2 is coming out.
Black.
Yep. Black. First black woman to portray the characters Kate Kane, who's Batwoman. That's going to be coming out January 17th on the CW. Regina King's One Night in Miami is coming out this month, January 15th on Amazon. Amazon's just kicking ass. They got some great stuff coming out. And I don't know if we talked about this, Tonya B, but this is going to be the last thing I talk about. I just want to get y'all's thoughts. And I also want to get the audience thoughts on this. You and I think we all talked about it maybe toward the end of the last show we did, but we're talking about the Whitney Houston biopic. The actual release date's not going to be until Thanksgiving 2022. It ain't coming out this year. But the actress, a lot of folks are upset that this Naomi Ackie, who's a British actress, has been chosen to play Whitney Houston. A lot of folks wanted an American actress to play Whitney.
Wow.
Clive Davis has given his full support.
Just like he did with the Aretha Franklin movie that never got finished with Cynthia Erivo.
Long as she black, she act and sing them good.
Okay. All right, Vi said that, but what about you, Tonya B? Vi says as long as she can act and sing, we all good.
And be black. And be black.
I don't know. For me, maybe my perspective's different, but there's nothing about Whitney Houston that I feel I need to know. I know things that people will never see or hear about that I will take to my grave. But I'm like, enough. It's just like, all these Whitney things. And here comes 1, 2, 3 Aretha Franklin movies. And it was enough with it. I'm done. Enough. There are already 5 movies that are out already.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah. And I we're talking about another year. So maybe by 2022, they would have built up the hype enough so that, we're not tired of everything we've already seen. But I do agree. I think one of the things we said is let Whitney die. I mean, don't let her legacy die. Her music and everything that we remember. But I think it's so tragic. It's a tragic story. It ain't the feel good story of the year. And it just seems like we keep getting it thrown at us. So, we'll see how it comes out. Maybe by Thanksgiving 2022, we'll be ready for it.
But I'm with T. I don't see. I'm done with it. I mean, what? I mean.
No, what I am looking forward to, and this may be on your list, TB, so just let me know, is HBO starting to step up. They've got documentaries planned over the next year, on, what's his name? Little Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tina Turner. And actually, I mean, there's been, 3 books and 2 or 3 movies and documentaries. I'm like, okay, unless this next documentary is going to be based more on her most recent book.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to help Ike. So go ahead.
Y'all call us. Give us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you on this. 413-556-9546. Are you happy to hear of another Whitney Houston movie coming out? 413-556-9546. I'm cool with whoever portrays, because it doesn't happen only with Black artists or Black iconic figures. I mean, even on the white side, you had Daniel Day-Lewis played Lincoln. So he's from across the pond. Christian Bale, but these guys, I mean, they're great actors, and ultimately it comes down to talent. But one thing I hope that they aren't doing in Hollywood, I hope they aren't bypassing a lot of our iconic artists. I just hope they're not bypassing the iconic artists or the iconic actors because of money, because they can get these folks cheap. I just hope they aren't doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Who would you think be a good Whitney Houston actor?
I don't know, but this actress has done stuff across the pond. This will be her first big American opportunity. But I just hope that they aren't bypassing a lot of the talent that already exists in America because of money. Because even what's her name who played Aretha? Cynthia Erivo?
Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah. I mean, she did a great job with the Harriet Tubman story. But the whole thing is, I mean, her net worth is probably $2-3 million at that, maybe. So in a lot of cases, you can get these actors who've really done a lot, but when they come to America, they have to really kind of go back as if they're like entry level in terms of what they're getting paid on scale side. So I just hope they're not bypassing, established people for money. I
wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, I just hope that's not the case. I just hope folks ain't getting undercut. That's all I got to say. Hey, y'all, let's take a quick break. And again, you call us about everything we've talked about in the T. 413-556-9546. We're going to take a quick break, and we want to come back and talk about the Booger. Booger McFarland. Booger Mac is what I call him, and talk about this controversy. A couple of folks called us. So here we go. We'll be right back.
You're looking for news and information on about people of color. You want the Urban Internet News Network. The UIN network includes UIN, Urban Internet News, our podcast, UINWA, Urban Internet News with Attitude, and UITVN, Urban Internet TV News. It also includes The BJ Murphy Show. Whether it's business news, sports, entertainment, it's all on the UIN network. Visit our website at uinews.net and see what UIN is all about. That's uinews.net.
Hey, y'all, we got some good feedback that I'm going to play in just a minute regarding Booger McFarland made comments about, what's the quarterback's name? You know his name, Haskins, Dwayne Haskins, is that his name? Plays for, the Washington football team. And basically Booger came out and said, these guys are more concerned about the brand and themselves individually than they are when it comes down to the team because, basically he's been cut, by Washington for wearing, he went to a party basically and he was, and Tonya B, you'll love this. He was out basically having a great time doing his thing without a mask.
What's that NBA player with the big bushy beard?
Harden.
Harden did the same thing. Yeah, they fined him.
Yeah. But they cut. I mean, there were a couple of things, so they cut him. So let's go ahead. I want to play Junior's feedback right now. So here we go.
I'm going to start by saying, first of all, I am a diehard Washington football team fan ever since the early 80s. Is Booger McFarland right? No. Just the same way he can state cases as far as black players not taking it serious, not giving it their all, not being the player or developing like they should. You also have black quarterbacks or black players that do. You have the Russell Wilsons, you have the Patrick Mahomes, you have the Lamar Jacksons that's out there doing their thing. And for Dwayne Haskins, when you're a quarterback, when you are a team leader, you are a captain, you have to take responsibilities. I even told my son, you don't see Drew Brees partying after a loss. You don't see the Tom Brady's. You don't see the Aaron Rodgers doing what Dwayne Haskins did. You don't even see Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes doing what Dwayne Haskins did. Dwayne Haskins was in the locker room boasting about his personal stat after a loss to Baltimore this season. Who does that? You took an L. This is a team sport. Once you lose the locker room, you lose the respect from your teammates. And I know I'm jumping off subject, but you can't say Booger McFarland can't say all black players do this. Yes, it's a different age. You have TikTok, you have Instagram, and not only football players but musicians, actors. Everybody takes to these social media outlets to sort of advertise themselves. Is it wrong? No, I don't think so. Is it right? It all depends how you look at it. But to me, he can't say all black players act the way Dwayne Haskins do. He can't say that they don't take it serious. They don't put forth the effort. And I just don't agree with them. Like I say, you have Russell Wilson, you have Patrick Mahomes, you have all the other black players that do what they're supposed to do on and off the field. Thank you.
Yeah, this is my opinion on the Booger McFarland comment around Dwayne Haskins and his failure as a football player. It is totally unfair for Booger, who I think is a great commentator and really appreciated him on Monday Night Football, the way he broke down the plays and gave the common viewer look into what was happening. But this comment is way out of line. In fact, you cannot tag one African American and paint the whole group of football players by what the actions of one African American football player. We don't do that for anybody else, but all of a sudden Booger, the old man get off my lawn guy, saying, hey, because of Dwayne's failure, this is an indication of all the failures in the NFL. About 80% of the NFL is African Americans, and they are all very successful. And the pool keeps turning over. It's more and more kids coming in that are African American, and they're successful. This is one guy, Dwayne Haskins, who failed to put forth an effort and preferred to joke around and hang out instead of honing his craft. And now he's out of the league, or at least temporarily. So as much as I appreciate Booger, he's totally out of line on this comment. Thanks for listening.
All right. If you agree or disagree, you can give us a call, 413-556-9546. Want to thank Junior and also thank Howard for giving us a call and leaving their feedback on Haskins. But how do you feel, real quick? On
He's wrong. He's totally wrong.
Yeah.
He's going to say all black quarterbacks?
All black players. Yeah.
Black player, I mean, so what? He was a black NFL player. Did he put himself in that category?
Yeah. I just don't think you can throw the blanket.
Think about it. When Johnny Manziel messed up, did they say all white players do that?
No, Manziel was horrible. Yeah.
Okay, but did they say all white players do that when he did that?
No, I agree. No. I think you got to be careful throwing the blanket.
And plus, Dwayne Haskins, I'm not trying to defend him. What he did was wrong.
Yeah.
He's a young kid. He went to a team that didn't want him. The only person wanted was the owner.
Yeah.
The coaches didn't want him. The general manager didn't want him.
Yeah.
So what kind of guidance did he get? When he went there, he's probably like 21 or 20 years old when he got there.
You know, the interesting thing is funny you mentioned that about with Daniel Snyder, who owns them.
He wanted him, but the coaches and the GM did not want him there.
But you know why Snyder wanted him? He played for his son's private school in high school.
So it was.
There you go.
The deck was stacked against him already.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. All right, y'all. Hey, let's do this. It's almost that time, but we got to do this because we're closing in on the end of the show. So you know what time it is. You know what time.
I didn't come here to preach to you today.
Here's your inspirational moment with Vi.
The tough time we face right now are also opportunities for spiritual growth. Don't fall into Satan's trap and turn away from God when hard time comes. Instead, use those tough times as opportunity for testifying for God. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. Anyone who is destined for prison will be taken to prison. Anyone destined to die by the sword will die by the sword. This means that God-holy people must endure persecution patiently and remain faithful. Amen.
Amen, Vi. I'm going to let that music play a little bit. What'd you say, Tonya B?
Hallelujah.
We needed that, man. Start the year off right. Y'all keep the faith. There you go. Hey, you know, while we're doing this, I got to say prayers to the family of Kennedy Maxey, young 7-year-old, just random bullet, man, December 21st. Let me turn this down, man, because Atlanta's Phipps Plaza is in that area, that Buckhead area, man, the kind of crime that's going on there. You and I mean, we've talked about this, Tonya B. I think we've mentioned it just about last 6 weeks, just about every week, the amount of crime that goes on over there. But I did not know that the crime in Atlanta is up like this highest point in 30 years. And Mayor Keisha's under fire right now.
Yeah, she's got to do something. And, you look at, there's a lot going on there, like you said. And, she got on TV and said, no, help me, tell me what I can do. And, the guy that shot Little Kennedy shouldn't have been here. He was on the run from a crime in Virginia where he ran down here to escape that, comes down here, same thing. And I'm like, I don't have a lot of hand mercy for him right now.
Yeah, 24 years old. Daquan Reed. Yeah,
his life is over, and he's killed. He's murdered a 7-year-old who was going shopping with her aunt.
Random.
And then we have a 16-year-old mayor shoot another 16-year-old girl in the face at a hotel, a motel in Atlanta recently also.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's my question. How do they get her phone? I shouldn't say how do they get a room there. People have their ways, but again, and then before that, there was that other young girl that shot her married boyfriend in a hotel room. Yeah. So, it's like these people, I don't know. To me, it's not desperate times call for desperate measures, but this is just less than smart.
Yeah, so true. But it's going to be interesting, and I don't want to get into it, but there's something we probably, because we're in the Atlanta area, we'll be addressing, because the Mayor Keisha is going to be up for election real soon, and even when you look at what's going on in Atlanta, when you look at the situation with Lightfoot and Mayor Lightfoot in Chicago, and some of the things that are coming out about the woman who was arrested naked or in her home naked, there were things that she knew that she said she didn't know, but it's coming out that she knew in advance. Yeah. And, I just hope these mayors, man, our mayors are, just like, what's his name was saying, Carl was saying, what is it? Everybody's a snitch. It's like, we in a high tech world.
That's right.
Everybody has a price. It's a shame.
You've
got these Black female mayors who we were, really lifting up a few months ago, and it's like now their foundation is crumbling. So you've got to find the weak link somewhere.
Yeah.
But this cannot continue. If it does, I doubt that they'd even be reelected. And a lot of the people that actually voted for Mayor Keisha, that were in the downtown Atlanta area have now decided to flee back to the suburbs because they really have been shaken, with city living. It's not, yes, you have your right to quiet enjoyment, but it's a little different in the city. So,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. You live there, so you see it. I mean, you're in the heart of it.
I hear it every day. There's not a day that goes by when I don't hear sirens. And for lack of a better term, I live in a good neighborhood.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, don't forget, you can follow us on all the social platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and all the fastest way to find us is just go to the podcast page. There's a link with everything, even our new YouTube channel. Just a couple of resolutions for me, and I'm going to wrap the show. One thing I really want to do is avoid empowering Trump-like behavior by normalizing it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're going to call it out, but I'm not going to normalize the Trump-like behavior from him or all his little, kooky disciples. If it's not normal, we don't need to embrace it. We really need to, be straight up about the fact that these conspiracy folks need to go back into the shadows where they came from. We need to really stop normalizing all these crazy conspiracies. The other thing is, I hope that on the show we can offer more, solutions and shed light on more things, as we go forward between the three of us. And if there's anything that you guys would like to contribute, feel free to do so. Feedback line, however, on social media, email us. It's all there. Let's be blunt. We got to, tell people how we really feel, especially a lot of these Congress people who ain't doing their job, so we need to start singing, you about to lose your job, because a lot of these folks don't need to be doing it, y'all. They just, it's time up. We really need to let them know, and we need to continue to go to the polls. Kudos to my folks in Georgia for showing that. Let's prepare more, and just show that we care and that we're considerate, because I think that's going to matter a lot going forward. 2020 taught us a lot. And last but not least, definitely I want to be thankful for, all our folks, including, the folks who definitely take an hour out of their life to check out this podcast every week. And of course, my co-hosts, want to say thank you to Vi and thank you to Tonya B for definitely always being there and contributing to the show, y'all. Vi, thank you so much again. Tonya B, thank you so much. Y'all got any last 2021 thoughts before we get up out of here?
I always say I resolve to be a kinder and gentler human being. And the flip side of that is my BS meter is really, really low. When it comes to news, like you said, these politicians, ignore them. Do not reward bad behavior. Nothing positive will ever come from it.
Yeah, so true. What about you, Vi? Are we going to wrap it?
I would say 2020 is over. Forget about it. Don't think about it anymore. New year here. And think positive. Yeah. It's a new year. Great things can happen.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, y'all, with that being said, episode 64 is in the can, and we are out of here. Happy 2021, y'all. Let's make it a good one. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace is in.
You've been listening to the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B. The G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.